Once upon a time, happiness seemed like an attainable state, woven into the fabric of our daily lives. It lingered in the laughter shared with friends, the warmth of family gatherings, and the simple pleasures found in nature. However, as we journey through life, the definition of happiness becomes increasingly complex and layered, often leading us to question the very nature of this elusive emotion. Philosophers have wrestled with the essence of happiness for centuries, providing us with diverse perspectives. Aristotle, for example, posited that true happiness, or eudaimonia, is rooted in living a life of virtue and fulfilling one's potential. He believed that happiness is not merely an emotional state, but a product of actions aligned with one's values. This raises a fundamental inquiry. In a world dominated by consumerism and superficial goals, how do we stay true to our authentic selves while pursuing happiness? In contrast, Epicurus emphasized the pursuit of pleasure as the path to happiness. He argued that the absence of pain and the cultivation of simple pleasures lead to a fulfilled life. Yet, this prompts us to consider, are we seeking happiness through immediate gratification? And if so, at what cost? The existentialist philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre introduced a more unsettling perspective, suggesting that happiness is intertwined with freedom and the burden of choice. According to Sartre, our freedom to choose can lead to feelings of anxiety and despair as we grapple with the weight of our decisions. His assertion challenges us. Is the quest for happiness merely a guise for our fear of freedom? Are we burdened by the freedom to choose our paths, leading us to inadvertently complicate our pursuit of joy? The Stoics, such as Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, provide another lens through which to view happiness. They argued that true contentment stems from within and is not dependent on external circumstances. Stoicism teaches the importance of accepting what we cannot control while focusing on our responses to life's challenges. This raises a profound question. If our happiness is rooted in our perceptions and responses, how much power do we truly have over our emotional states? Modern psychology has shed light on the multifaceted nature of happiness, often intersecting with these philosophical inquiries. The work of Martin Seligman, a pioneer in positive psychology, underscores the significance of meaning and purpose in achieving lasting happiness. Seligman identifies three dimensions of well-being: the pleasant life, characterized by momentary pleasures; the engaged life, filled with activities that captivate us; and the meaningful life, where we derive fulfillment from serving a greater purpose. Yet, this leads us to ponder. In our fast-paced world, are we neglecting the meaningful aspects of life in favor of transient joys? How often do we sacrifice deeper connections and purpose for the sake of superficial happiness? The Harvard study of adult development, one of the longest-running studies on happiness, found that the quality of our relationships is the most significant predictor of well-being. Participants who reported deep, meaningful connections experienced greater life satisfaction. This raises essential questions. In an age dominated by social media and digital interactions, how can we cultivate authentic relationships? Are our connections genuine, or are they merely a facade masking our loneliness? Real-life experiences add another layer to our understanding of happiness. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, famously articulated that finding meaning in suffering is crucial for psychological resilience. In his profound work, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl detailed how individuals who found purpose amidst suffering were capable of transcending their circumstances. His insights compel us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Can we discover meaning in our own struggles? And can that understanding lead us to a more profound sense of happiness? Consider the story of Michelle, a woman who spent years chasing career success. After a health crisis forced her to reevaluate her priorities, she began volunteering at a local shelter. In this new role, she discovered that true happiness emerged not from accolades, but from the impact she had on others. Her journey challenges the conventional wisdom that happiness is rooted solely in personal achievement. Could it be that our greatest joy lies in selflessness and serving others, rather than in the relentless pursuit of our ambitions? Similarly, James, who dedicated his life to climbing the corporate ladder, took a sabbatical to travel the world. His journey through diverse cultures revealed that happiness was often found in shared experiences and connections rather than in material success. James's story prompts us to reflect. In our quest for happiness, are we overlooking the richness of human connection and the joy that comes from shared experiences? Are we missing out on the vibrant tapestry of life because we are too focused on personal gain? The paradox of happiness poses yet another challenge. Research by Barry Schwartz reveals that an abundance of choice can lead to anxiety and dissatisfaction. In a society that glorifies individualism and freedom, many find themselves paralyzed by options, leading to the question: in seeking happiness, do we inadvertently complicate our lives by striving for too much? How often do we find ourselves overwhelmed by possibilities, questioning whether the paths we choose will truly lead to joy? Moreover, the constant bombardment of curated lifestyles on social media creates unrealistic expectations for happiness. The philosopher Blaise Pascal once remarked, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." In our pursuit of happiness, we often distract ourselves from confronting our inner struggles, leading us to question: is our incessant quest for happiness merely a distraction from facing the complexities of our existence? Are we so preoccupied with external validation that we neglect the richness of our internal experiences? As we navigate this intricate landscape of happiness, we must confront the uncomfortable reality that happiness is not a destination, but a journey filled with complexities. It requires us to challenge our beliefs and perceptions, to engage in deep self-reflection, and to cultivate genuine connections. Ultimately, we are left with one crucial question that demands our attention. Is happiness a fleeting emotion we chase, or a state of being we must courageously cultivate through our experiences and connections with others?